Hey gang, welcome back. It is I, Dr. Bosky, and it's been a while, so I thought I would do kind of a run through of level 1. Special shout outs to Kris with a K. Thank you for joining us and joining our art team. So I thought I would jump into this and kind of give you kind of an overall walkthrough of what level 1 would look like, some of the context, and also just to show you kind of the progress that we've been making. So turn this down a little bit here. We got a tiny bit of sound. Let's jump into it. So first and foremost, Kris, so you are basically doing the rendering on the wormhole entrance. So you can see this here. We basically come into the level. The ship drops off Dr. Bosky, and the quest starts above the planet. Here we have some basically it's just a stand-in for kind of a giant billboard for advertisements for Paltech. There's a bunch of that's happening. But I thought I would share with you that for the most part, you are touching some of the very first art that people are going to see. So we got some of our Ronoid spawners here that do their thing. We've got these hangars in the background here. I guess I can just take damage. It's not a big deal. Oh, I can't do that. So we have these hangars in the background here that are at different parallax levels. So again, all temporary, but us playing around with how different things can move in space. And then the other big piece that you've got going on here is we have these portals that are expel enemies, which are really cool. They're gonna have a giant big explosion, which always makes me happy. We've got our right shield mechs. I got to replace them with the newer versions of these guys. So, and then we have I was talking to Dimitri this morning or this afternoon about essentially the lead up here. So here we're gonna have more enemies. Of course, there's gonna be a lot of like waving from my side of things. So where we're introducing different waves of enemies, we're showing the right shield mechs, maybe some different configurations of them. These guys are moving crazy fast right now. And then we're still flying over the planet, which is super cool. So we got this kind of planetary atmosphere thing. We have the glow coming up from the planet, which is really cool. And then we have basically these kind of like space structures. Dimitri and I were talking, and these space structures can also be some of the geometry, not geometry. Some of the architecture that could also be in the city, because the city is essentially 30 cities stacked up on top of each other, and it's one giant planet. So the whole planet is covered in a giant city. So we're above it right now. And then we come to this mega structure, and this whole mega structure here is essentially it's a what do you call it? I'm calling it a, what is the name for it? Holy crap, I can't think of the name for it. Oh, it's a quantum mainframe, AI mainframe field, right? So kind of connects you to the, we're very cyberpunk, cybercorpo. So and then you come to this point in the level where then we have this big rise up, and we're showing this giant mega structure, and the whole structure basically serves to create this apparatus of this boss battle. So pretty early in the game, we're gonna hit the player with a big, super beefy boss battle. I gotta work on the layers for this. And then you kill the boss. We have this kind of reveal, some cool, like weird screens, and maybe some other bits that are more visual that happen after you destroy the boss. Yeah, so mainframe singularity defense sentience. So it's a bit of a mouthful. We'll have some really cool, nice dressing for the UI bits, and kind of the some of the perspectives from the citizens always being advertised to. They're under the care of Palcorp. Paltech is the basically the runner of the whole planet. They commandeered a whole planet and built up a whole mercenary and R&D department, and that comes with citizens and workers and a bunch of other things. So we come down after that. We're going to introduce, and this is still very rough timing, but some more enemies. We're going to have these cloud covers here, which are super cool. And so when you're going down through the atmosphere, which is pretty neat, we'll have some probably some of the secret drones will probably come in this space. We'll have some more enemies that we're introduce. And again, it's just kind of this nice texture. You can see the planet kind of in the background. It's also moving as well. It's technically, and then we go down at the very edge of the planet, and then we come into this like, hey, is that interesting? I think some of that was supposed to be on top of the player. I got to look at that again for transition wise. But we have a like kind of the final cloud layer as we get down to the lowest part of the atmosphere. I broke some buildings in here that are supposed to be holding up these laser arrays. So the player will be dodging some of these laser arrays, and then we have some of these also again supposed to be. Oops, dang it! That wasn't supposed to happen. Pushing the wrong button. Here, let me just do this. Game camera off. So we'll come back down in here. Yeah, so, and then we basically have these large buildings. Again, I got to figure out what I did to break them and get them back into the engine. But then these buildings basically have defensive turrets on them, and so the player is dodging these kind of missiles, which is gonna be kind of fun. Kind of working our way through that. And then it's kind of we'll see about kind of the puzzling side of that. None of this is final gameplay. It's all just prototype stuff. And you can kind of see how the gameplay unfolds from here. Some more buildings. Well, we definitely want to have this time around essentially a better connection between the background and the foreground and the enemies and things that that essentially threaten the player, and that when you destroy a number of the things that are threatening the player, since like think about ground, like having a ground plane, like here we have these ground planes with these roads, and these hover tanks are going to come out here, and the hover tanks are going to shoot at you from the ground, and then you shoot them, and then they blow up and leave little like debris piles and burning scrap, and it'll be kind of fun. So, and we're really kind of taking that to heart this time around with Interstellar 2, and really trying to bridge more of that gap between what you're seeing thematically, how the enemies will still be structured across the world very similarly. So you discover enemies in level 1 that you deal with. Oh yeah, we have this giant kind of laser building defense force that brings with it these really big like laser defenses. So I think they're just turned on right now, so I need to turn them on and off. But so that's the idea. We have some concept art kind of showing that you're kind of going through this like large laser defense grid. You'll be fighting some enemies here. Again, all very rough timings. But we'll be doing it. It'll be like pew pew, laser dodge, oh, laser dodge. Yeah, so it'll be kind of fun. We'll see. We need to do some weird like perspective shifts right here with these. These are just our basic billboards. And then you come towards the end of the level. I think so you get past the laser grid bits, and then we have this giant shield dome, which is super cool. That that is here, and then we're calling it the city boss. So the city boss rises up, and he's made of the city, and he's going to be a giant towering boss that's going to be multiple screens, and then you're gonna fight that guy. I think I moved some stuff around there. Defeat that guy, it'll be great, and then we basically have this little bridger into the end, and that will be where we do the ranking and the score creation, and then we're on to level 2. So I hope that gives you a good little like sort of idea of where we're at. Lots of stuff to do still. We're just now starting to finalize some enemy types, and also I think this might be helpful too. Yeah, so we got a little mural board here that we've been jamming on. So planetary entry, the warp portals we talked about, space city bits, the sub boss we talked about. There's the cloud layer, and we're definitely going downwards. The gameplay will be interesting in that respect, I think. And then these are slightly out of date thumbs, but that was for the intro scene, and I think that was pretty much it that kind of captured a chunk of this. So we've since went away from a bit of our so here's like some concepts for the Golem City boss that were like just in terms of hulking form. That'll be kind of neat, and some space mega structure stuff, which is going to be super cool. Yeah, so we got a bunch of little concept bits, and that we're definitely jamming on. So yeah, you get a sense for this here in terms of like a giant sentience kind of like a platform. So anyways, again, welcome to the team. Thank you so much for putting in the work. I'm really looking forward to seeing your contributions. I know Dimitri is as well. I know this is our little candy project. We all have our day jobs, so this is what we do to enjoy ourselves and to be creative and to really have fun. I think just being and creating in different worlds. So yeah, that's it. All right. I'll see everyone next time. Thank you.